Today we're talking about the latest Tesla news, including some updated full self-driving beta timelines from Elon himself, another new Model S configuration, Cybertruck updates, updates on the Model S and X recalls, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, Elon Musk has given a number of updates on the full self-driving beta timeline. Thousands of customers have purchased the full self-driving package for the Model S, X, 3, and Y over the last few years with the promise that it will get better over time, and Elon talking about level 5 autonomy. The full self-driving beta came out last year to a handful of customers and added the ability for the car to drive itself on city streets and handle a number of more complicated scenarios, but we haven't really heard much since then about when it would actually come to more customers, besides the select few who were chosen to test it out. For one, more people want to test it, and for two, the rest of the people who bought it want to see this feature actually delivered. Well, this year seems like the time that Elon is actually going to deliver it, as he usually does, however late it is. And he tweeted some updates that make it seem like it's coming very soon. He said, quote, "If you want the Tesla full self-driving beta downloaded to your car, let us know. Doubling beta program size now with 8.2 and probably 10x size with 8.3. Still be careful, but it's getting mature." Well, it was pretty vague to say let us know, and it resulted in service centers getting appointments booked to receive these features even though it's completely unrelated to service, and people like Tesla's head of AI telling people to stop contacting him and contact Tesla's early access program email instead. That email sent back a generic reply to thousands of interested Tesla owners, including myself, so Elon followed up to say, quote, "Due to high levels of demand for FSD Beta, adding download beta button to service section of car display in around 10 days. Availability varies by region due to regulatory approval, delays, and or Tesla internal development and testing. Note, word beta is used to reduce complacency in usage and set expectations appropriately. All software is first tested internally by Tesla simulation and QA drive teams." So we still aren't 100% sure what exactly Elon's latest tweet means. At the surface level, it seems like every single Tesla owner will be able to go into the service tab of their car, choose download beta, and receive this beta that they know is specifically in the early beta stage. By putting it there, it doesn't automatically download to your car, and you have to actively seek it out knowing the risk. That's a great barrier to have in place there, since there's a lot of misunderstanding and complacency around self-driving technology, as Elon pointed out. However, I wouldn't be surprised if both of these tweets still hold true. Maybe Tesla still only makes the beta available to 10 times more customers in 10 days or so, and those customers then have to go download it by going to the service tab on screen. Obviously, there are lots of people out there, including myself, hoping that more people will get it soon, but it seems like a very sudden beta release, and I'm a little doubtful. It will also be very interesting to see what around 10 days really means in Elon time. Best case scenario, you check back in 10 days and I'm posting my first FSD beta video. Worst case, next year or later. Now, regarding the difference between the current version 8.2 and next version 8.3 of the full self-driving beta, Elon said, quote, "Beta version 8.3 has literally around 1,000 improvements. Will take time to QA internally before release, probably in 2 or 3 weeks. I'll be keeping on top of all of this, and I would love to see this beta get expanded to more customers, especially if they can do it in a careful and responsible way. The last thing we or Tesla wants is thousands of people to suddenly think level 5 autonomy is here, and it is not." Next up, we have a number of updates about the new refreshed Model S. Tesla said the deliveries of both the long-range and Plaid Model S would begin in March, with the Plaid Plus version coming later this year, likely because it needs their new 4680 cells to achieve its 520 plus mile range. We haven't seen any deliveries yet, and we were following up on the mystery of the yoke versus round steering wheel. Tesla announced the Model S with the yoke steering wheel, and no mention of an optional round one. However, in multiple sightings of the new Model S in public, only the round wheel was spotted. Well, the Kilowatts spotted the yoke steering wheel in the wild, as I mentioned, and just recently we got some drone footage of a Model S loaded up for delivery with the yoke steering wheel. The drone footage gets uncomfortably close to Tesla's operations at their factories, but we can see that Tesla is loading Model S's up and getting them ready for imminent delivery. This particular one has the yoke steering wheel, although it is near impossible to see when zooming in. This marks the second time the Model S has been spotted with the yoke steering wheel out in the wild, as the wheel itself is still awaiting approval from NHTSA. Around 30 more Model S's were spotted as well, lined up at Tesla's delivery and logistics lot, which means they are getting ready to ship, and zooming in it appears to show more yoke steering wheels as well, possibly showing that Tesla's plan is to ship them as announced. Hopefully they will give a round option as well soon, but we will see. And it's good news that they are getting loaded up on trucks, and hopefully early customers will begin receiving their delivery notifications soon. But that's not all we can see from these photos. Interestingly, there appears to be a possible new variant of the Model S, a 7-seater parked in the lot. If we zoom into this photo at Fremont, we can clearly see that this is a Model S, and it appears that there might be extra seats in the back, much like the third row of the Model Y. Comparing that to the Model S next to it, you just see trunk space. Now the Model S used to have a 7-seater option with rear jumper seats made for children. Additionally, Elon talked about bringing back this option with a tweet back in 2019 saying, "We expect these track times to be beaten by the actual production 7-seat Model S Plaid variant that goes into production around October, November next year." They were definitely late to that timeline, but he followed that up to say original 5 forward-facing seats plus 2 rear-facing smaller seats. The new rear seats will accommodate larger passengers than before, and rear-facing but roomier, great for family gatherings. I did a road trip across America with my 5 boys in Tallulah in the 7-seat Model S several years ago. The reason I mention all of these tweets in the 7-seater is to say that his first tweet wasn't merely a typo where he missed the 5 and typed a 7. He was serious, although he later said, "You never know," when asked in 2020 if the third row would come back to the Model S. He seemed 100% on board in 2019, but in 2020, less so, and hasn't talked about it since. We just assumed the 5-seater Model S was all they would make after the refreshed model had no mention, but now this new model throws some fuel on the 7-seater Model S fire. Additionally, these seats look like the third row seats in the Model Y. It's hard to tell, but it seems like they might even be forward-facing. I especially don't see how that's possible in the Model S since it's barely possible in the much taller Model Y, but who knows? It's entirely possible it's just something they are testing out, or it's not even a third row, however much it looks like it. But I'm pretty confident that we will see this 7-seater Model S this year, especially after the popularity of the Model Y 7-seater, and the fact that Elon has talked about these seats being larger, accommodating larger passengers, and he specifically talked about it coming with the Plaid model, which is now shipping, and by the end of the year we'll get the Plaid Plus. So I'm all in for 2021 7-seater Model S. Now the last few updates on the Model S come from @ElectrifyEverything on Twitter, who came upon a blue Model S refresh prototype in Oregon. Once again, this prototype has a round steering wheel, and the engineer testing it gave them some pieces of information. First, they're doing validation testing, which is why they are on the roads. Second, as we've seen in photos before, the side repeater cameras are larger and do stick out further. This allows for better visibility and likely compensates for the wider rear body of the Model S refresh. Third, it's apparently running pre-production software that the engineer said would be released soon. Tesla's version 11 has been rumored for a long time, with a slew of update and feature suggestions getting the okay from Elon on Twitter. These are never confirmations, but they have a high success rate of coming to be, since Tesla gets most of their user feedback from Twitter. In any case, there are tons of features that we're waiting on, and I detailed them in a video a few weeks ago that you can check out linked up here or in the description below. The Tesla holiday update that Elon teased as being fire emojis really wasn't, so many people are excited for version 11 to be released, and it could very well coincide with the delivery of the new Model S. The new Model S clearly has new software since it is changing from the vertical screen to horizontal, and it's split across 2 screens. Plus, in Tesla's photos as well as pre-production leaked photos, we can see a number of differences. This software could simply get finished when the car delivers and it's only for the Model S, or it could signal Tesla's version 11 coming soon, which I am really hoping for. The last update that Electrify Everything mentioned was that the way the gears shift is still a secret that the engineer couldn't share at the moment. Elon has been clear that the stockless design shifts for you, so I believe what they are referring to is the way that you shift if you want to override what the car chooses. Based on rumors in this prototype photo, I think those buttons are going to end up being at the bottom of the wireless charger, but Elon mentioned the override being on screen, so we'll see which option comes soon since Tesla is prepping for delivery. Now, moving on to the Cybertruck. Elon has talked about the way the design has changed a tiny bit. On Joe Rogan's podcast, he confirmed that it will be a little less than 3% smaller when it makes it to production, and one particular reason for that is because it barely fit in the boring tunnel when they went through with Jay Leno. Other than that, we don't really know much about what they would change, but we're expecting some differences, no matter how small they are. When asked for an update about the Cybertruck, Elon said, quote, "Update probably in Q2. Cybertruck will be built at Giga Texas, so focus right now is on getting that beast built." Elon seems to add the word probably to all of his tweets these days just to cover his bases, since most people take his tweets as gospel. If he came out and said update in Q2 and it didn't arrive, people would be far more upset than if he just adds the word probably, so you don't get your hopes up completely. In any case, the Cybertruck design appears to be nearly finished, but Tesla isn't really focused on telling everyone about it. They're focused on building the factory that will build it, since that's obviously the main thing that would prevent it from coming. I do wish Tesla would give more updates and even hold events when they update their product, but it's how they operate, they love the mystery, and it appears to be working. Based on the Cybertruck reservation tracker, which now has been updated with over 15,000 individual reservations, the estimate is that Tesla has received a total of 925,806 Cybertruck reservations. If every single one of those reservations became a sale, it would be about $58 billion in revenue for Tesla. However, many of these orders will likely be canceled before production begins. Even so, we're approaching 1 million reservations for the Cybertruck, which has to be the highest demand Tesla has seen for any of their cars. Even if half of those deliver, that's 500,000 Cybertrucks that Tesla will be shipping to customers who haven't even seen it in person. Elon last said that if they were lucky, the Cybertruck will deliver to its first customers in the end of this year, so we'll probably see it come to be next year. I'm very curious to see how long ramping up production takes and how long it is before pre-order holders who ordered a few months after the announcement, like myself, will actually have to wait before taking delivery. For the time being, at least there is the new Hot Wheels RC Cybertruck to hold you over, and I have a review of that coming up on my second channel in a couple days, so I'll link that below when it's up. But it's pretty cool and fun to play with. Next up, Tesla has begun the recall process for Model S's and X's that were shipped before MCU2 came to be. After a long investigation, NHTSA forced a recall of the Multimedia card, or eMMC, that was shown to be inevitably faulty in around 158,000 Model S's and X's delivered between 2012 to 2018. This multimedia card would corrupt over time and cause a screen failure. Even though the car can be driven properly, the screen controls nearly everything, and according to NHTSA, quote, controller wear-out condition can cause the loss of the rear-view camera display, defrost, defog control settings, and exterior turn signal lighting, reducing visibility and increasing the risk of a crash. This is the safety reasoning and why they are putting it on Tesla, which makes total sense. I personally wish Tesla would have gone forward with this recall sooner and done so voluntarily, but now Tesla is proceeding with the eMMC replacement for affected customers. The note from Tesla specifically says, quote, if you previously paid out of pocket for the specific part and condition covered by the recall, and the repair was within the 8GB eMMC recall period, you may be eligible for reimbursement. Good to see Tesla not only fixing people's cars going forward, but retroactively fixing customers' issues as well. It's probably a requirement from NHTSA, but still good to see the right thing happening. Tesla just launched what appears to be their own sort of social network, which is pretty interesting. They're calling it their engagement hub, and their tagline is, quote, take action on behalf of Tesla and the movement for cleaner energy below. It's an interesting thing because you can follow people, but you can't actually post. You're only able to comment on other posts, and it appears to be linking in with Tesla owners clubs. So for the time being, it's not at all taking on other social media, and really it is just an engagement forum to help Tesla's efforts with public policy. Quote, engage Tesla with a new platform for both Tesla's public policy team and Tesla owners clubs. Its goal is to create a digital home base for all of our work and make it easier for Tesla community members to learn what's top of mind for us, take meaningful action, and stay in the loop. We hope you'll join us in getting involved. For the time being, only Tesla can create posts, but users can share and comment on them from their own custom profiles like my own. As you'll see, the only activity shown is if you commented on a thread posted by Tesla. We'll see where this goes, but long term it will likely be a more centralized version of the Tesla Owners Forum, and it will probably only be for super Tesla fans. Now to finish up with today, just a couple updates about Tesla's production and factory expansions worldwide. Over in India, according to Reuters, the country is ready to offer huge incentives to Tesla that would allow Tesla to make their cars there cheaper than they can in China. Quote, the government will make sure the production cost for Tesla will be the lowest when compared with the world, even China, when they start manufacturing their cars in India. We will assure that. It's a huge incentive for Tesla as they continue to expand to more factories around the world, and I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla announces their next factory in India in the future. Sometime next year, they will have 2 US factories and 2 factories outside of the US, so they have no issue splitting production to other countries. Last up, over at Giga Berlin, Tobias Lind posted some drone footage that shows the first GigaPress machines being installed and constructed there. Tesla plans for Model Y production to start there even as early as the middle of this year, and these giant pressing machines are a primary part of how the Model Y itself will be built in Berlin. It will be using a single-piece rear casting that improves the production process overall and is a huge step towards Model Ys being made in Berlin for the European market specifically. That's all of the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to learn more about the updates that should be coming in Tesla's version 11, you can check out that video linked over here and in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.